Hello and welcome back. Today we are talking about factoring, and we're talking about factoring a trinomial such as x squared plus bx plus c when c is greater than 0. So let's get started. When you're looking at your math textbook, you might be wondering why they say this trinomial is when c is greater than 0 and the other one is when c is less than 0. What they're basically talking about is when the last term is positive, then c is greater than 0. When the last term is negative, then c is less than 0. And you do them slightly differently, so they usually have them in separate sections. Okay, so the first example that we see above is x squared plus 10x plus 24. And so you start by putting your parentheses right here as if you're going to multiply two binomials. This is not a perfect square trinomial. So instead of just writing a binomial squared, you're actually going to have to write two of them in expanded form. Okay, so we don't have a coefficient here because we're just learning. So you put 1x here to the left in the first one, and you put the other x here to the left on the second binomial. Because when you FOIL those together, it will equal that x squared. So once you have those in place, you go straight to the last term, and you ask yourself this very important question. What can I multiply that equals 24 that I can also add together to equal this coefficient of the second term, 10? Okay, so when you first get started with this, I want you to write that like the numbers 1 through 5, and or just write a couple of them down and see if you can fill them in. So you have some factors of 24 to work with. The first one would be 1 times 24. The second one's 2 times 12. And then we have 3 times 4. That is an error. I can't believe it. There's probably 8. Well, let's go ahead and fix it then. Let's go ahead and put it down there. Probably 8 is what I was thinking. Okay, that looks nice. Okay, and then you have 4 times 6. And so you ask yourself, which one of these sets of factors of 24 can I add together that equals 10? Well, 4 times 6 is 24. And also 4 plus 6 is 10. So there's your answer. You take the 4 and the 6 and you fill those in as the second terms of the binomials. In which order you put them in doesn't matter. If you don't believe me, FOIL it and check. But you should FOIL it and check anyway to make sure that everything multiplies out to be the original trinomial. So let's look at the FOIL. When you FOIL these two binomials, you get x squared plus 6x plus 4x plus 24. The middle terms combine to equal a plus 10x. So the end result is a trinomial x squared plus 10x plus 24. And look up here. That was your original trinomial. So you've correctly factored that trinomial right here. This is correct. Okay. Let's look at another example. Okay, this trinomial, x squared plus 12x plus 36. And you can begin to see on some of these exactly what you can multiply to get the last term and add together to get the second term. But for the sake of it, sometimes we just write it out anyways. If you need to, you can. But what we're going to use here is 6 times 6. You should skip all the hoopla. write down your write your parentheses here and get ready to fill them in. X for the first term of both of the binomials, because when you FOIL, this will equal x squared. We decided that 6 times 6 equals 36, so we just put our 6's in. You put a positive sign because c is greater than 0. And that's it, you're done. If you don't believe me, you can FOIL that out and you should get the original trinomial. So this is the correct factorization of that. So what we're going to do next is we're going to do some trinomials where c is less than 0, and you're going to end up with a negative term for this last one right here. That should be exciting. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next video. And that's it.